It's Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Make sure our volume's up. How's everyone's week been doing? Good? Two things I want to ask you right away. One, how gold are your goldfinches right now? We're having, today I noticed several that were super, super yellow. It's really getting exciting. So that's fun. But number two, if you were here for our Who Haven program on last Saturday, let me know in the comments, how did you like it? How did you like the snowy owl? What did you think? Who Haven was really fun. That was a really, really awesome event. We will definitely be inviting them back. So stay tuned for more information about that. All right, let's get to it. So on Fridays, we go live here at Wild Birds Unlimited in Joliet to tell you what's new, what's happening at the store, what's happening out in nature. And my name is Ellen. I'm one of the owners here. So that's what we do on Fridays. Every Friday around 5:30-ish, we go live and tell you what's happening at the store and what's happening out in nature. Real quick before we get started, I want to talk about our April events, and I'm going to list off the first three that I wanted you to keep in your dates down. And first off, tomorrow we're presenting on attracting Orioles, and they will be in our area very soon, if not already. So if you're wanting to attract Orioles this season, it's highly recommended to come in and check that program out, because we will give you all the tips and tricks to really make your chances of getting Orioles this season a huge success. So stop on by to hear that. Plus, you'll learn a little bit more about these pretty fascinating, beautifully vibrant birds. And they're only here in spring and summer, so it's a really fun time to learn about these birds and learn how you can attract them to your yard. So it's really, really cool. That's happening at 11 o'clock tomorrow here in the store. It will not be on Facebook Live, so be sure to stop in. We still have some seats available, so if you'd like to call and reserve a seat, you can call and reserve a seat, all right? And fun fact, one of our newly certified bird feeding specialist, Lauren, will be presenting on Orioles tomorrow. So definitely come by, cheer her on. She's going to do great, and I'm really excited for her. So yay to that. But on the next Saturday, that's April 12th, we are having Andrew from Good Steward Ecoscapes coming in to talk about backyard conservation with living water. So if you want to learn how to attract wildlife to your backyard using native plants and water features, from naturally filtered water features, not just a bird bath. We're talking, a decent size, it could be a big pond or a smaller water feature, but either way, he's a great resource for that. It's pretty awesome. So he'll be coming to talk about that, and that's on April 12th at 11 o'clock. You can also call the store to reserve a seat for that one as well. And then the next one I want you to definitely put on your calendars, because our spring bird feeder cleaning event is going to happen on April 19th from 10 to 3 p.m. And the Will County Audubon Society will be here to help clean your feeders again. So thank you to the Audubon Society for coming to help us with that project. I don't know about you, but my allergies are driving me crazy today, so apologies for any of the sniffles I've got going on here. And of course, if you're not familiar how we run our feeder cleaning events, is on April 19th. You can bring in your feeders, and you can stay in the store, or you can leave and we'll call you when your feeders are done being cleaned and ready for pickup. We ask a suggested donation of $3 per feeder, and this year we've talked with Audubon, and they've decided that they would like the proceeds of this event to go to the Modus Project. And if you're thinking, what's the Modus Project? Well, at the last Audubon, Will County Audubon meeting, when they were talking about it was an owl program. They were featuring on how they do this study on these owls, and it's with the Illinois Modus Network. So how it works is there are these big towers, and birds have little monitors on them, and as they pass by these towers it pings, so scientists and researchers can learn how and where birds are migrating. So it's a really great way for us to learn about our local birds and migrating birds as they come in and out during migration, and then we learn more about them. So really great cause, and that's what this year's proceeds are going to help and go to, is that Modus program, that Modus project. So more information is on our website if you would like to go learn about the Modus project and the Illinois Modus network. You can check out our website. It's in our events for the feeder cleaning event, and there's a link there that will send you right to the Illinois Modus network, so you can learn all about that network and how the program works and what they do and all of that. So really, really cool. Plus, when you come and get your feeders cleaned, it's a great way to kind of talk and chat with members, learn about what they are doing and the fun programs that they provide, including field trips and meetings and the programs that they also provide. So really, really cool activity. You can learn how easy it is to clean your feeders at home, but of course it's more fun when someone else can do it for you. So we'll take the dirty work off your hands, get those feeders really cleaned. And we know that not only does clean feeders are important to help keep birds safe from disease and bacteria and things like that, but it's also an important part of responsible, bird feeding, is maintaining and cleaning those feeders. So we always recommend, at least every 2 weeks cleaning those feeders. I like to have extra feeders around to kind of put one out in place of one that I need to clean, so that I can clean the one that needs to be cleaned on my time. And I have one out there that's still functioning and working well. And when I'm ready to clean that one feeder, I can clean it when I have time and I can do the diligence that it needs. And then when I'm ready to do another swap, I put that original one back out there, and the secondary feeder comes back in for cleaning again. And I have this rotation going on. So that's one way I do it, but I'm sure you can come up with other ways to work around it. It really doesn't take a lot of time, but I'm a mom and I own a business, and it's tricky. I have lots of things in my plate, not enough time sometimes. So that's one way I get around it. Plus, this is a great time if you're wanting to do that. You get secondary feeders to replace so that you can swap them out when you need to clean them. This is a great time to do it, because from now until the 14th of April, we have a 15% off of all of our feeders. So it's a great time to come in the store, brush up on new feeders, and get your backyard prepared for spring and summer bird feeding. A couple things that happen, right? Birds start nesting. Birds are still migrating in. So there are a lot of things happening out in nature when it comes to birds, that having extra feeders not only is beneficial for us or when we want to switch them out to save us time or be able to clean them on our own time, but it's also beneficial for us and the birds, because it's going to if you have more feeders, not only will you get more birds, but it kind of reduces the stress. They're not competing over one feeder. They feel less stressed, and there is more resources. So you ultimately do get more birds, and they're healthier, and they're doing good. So that's happening. So in the nesting time, obviously birds are preparing for the next generation. Maybe they are building a nest. Some birds are incubating already, so keep an eye on your, particularly your chickadees and your nuthatches this time of year, because they sometimes are early nesters. And if you have a little dip in activity from one of those birds, maybe your chickadees are, less active as they were a couple of weeks ago at your feeders, it could be because the females are incubating eggs. So there'll be a couple weeks, where we won't have the chickadees visiting as frequently. But then soon, once those birds hatch, Dad will bring them to the feeders, and then the action will be big again. So it's a good time to put out more feeders because there are going to be more mouths to feed soon. So that's a big part of it too. Okay? All right. Now, I would like to talk real quick before we get into all the new items and some of the other promotions that we have going on this month. I want to talk real quick about native plants, because native plants are part of our Save the Songbird focus this month. So as you know, as Save the Songbird Hero winners, we have a big part of who we are at Wild Birds Unlimited is educating people and sharing the plight that birds face. And because there are 3 billion birds lost and that number keeps rising, there are simple ways that we can help them. And there are 7 of them. There are a few extras, right, that could technically be put into the basket too. But there are 7 big ones. And one of those 7 is planting native plants. So, birds right now, as compared to many hundreds of years ago, they have fewer and fewer places to rest when they come in for migration. They have fewer places to raise their young and create nesting cavities or create cup nests out in nature, because there's just less space, right? Less safe places for them. There are also less native insects available to birds because native insects rely on native plants. It's a big relationship, right? If one of them is missing out of the equation, things start to get really wonky. We heard about monarch butterflies, right? And the big issue with monarchs on the huge decline. And recently there was a study done that, showed that compared to last winter, the numbers of monarchs have increased. But there's a big but with that, right? On that graph that they show, 6 hectares is the minimum for sustainability for monarchs. And when I say hectares, how it works is up down in Mexico, and when the monarchs overwinter, the scientists estimate how many butterflies are in an area based on hectares. And essentially 1 hectare equals about, I want to say it was like 2 football fields. And however many, and they've determined that X amount of butterflies can occupy 1 hectare, right? So now how the results, the graph shows that we're now like at 1 point whatever hectares. It increased, okay? But minimum was 6. Okay, so there is still much work to be done to get them at a sustainable place. So same with our birds. Our birds need certain things in the wild or in your backyard to be sustainable. So we got to work together to get that circle in motion, right? So it keeps going and these species can be sustainable. So what is the big problem, right? So from 1982 to 1997, more than 10 million acres of land were developed, right? Whether that's making for commercial or residential or agriculture, a big portion of our land was converted, okay? So now, today, 63 million acres of lawn are in the US alone. Okay, so what's the problem with lawns? What's the problem with pavement? Well, if you didn't know, that pavement and lawn supports very, very few, if not any, species. Okay, so they don't offer food, right? They're not providing flowers for nectar or seed for seed eating birds. They're not providing nuts, and they're not providing insects habitat, right? So what is the solution? The solution, it may sound really simple, but it's just to plant native plants. Okay, when you support native plants, you are actually supporting the big circle, right? You're supporting the butterflies, you're supporting the caterpillars that birds rely on, and so on. This circle keeps going, right? So something like, I'm probably going to butcher the statistic, but an oak tree is what we talk about, keystone species. And keystone species, they support the most species. Okay, and oaks are one of those big keystone species. If you can plant an oak in your yard or in the community, it's going to help so many species of wildlife, not just birds, not just insects, but a whole slew of them, because of the big circle of the ecosystem, right? So the big thing this month that we're focusing on is talking about native plants and the importance they make with our native birds and also our native insects and other wildlife species. So that's why this month we have quite a few presentations that talk about native plants. We have Kelsey Shaw returning end of April to talk about providing 4-season interest with native plants. So that's going to be a really fun one too. If you didn't come for the pollinator presentation, I definitely recommend coming for his 4-season interest program. And Andrew from Good Stewart coming on the 12th is also a great resource. And on top of it, we are doing an online plant sale that is going on right now. The pre-orders is still happening, and they will ship to you, depending on your species, right to your door. This is partnered with Possibly Placed Nursery, and so all your plants that you're ordering from here are coming from Possibly Placed Nursery, and they will ship it straight to your door. So if you're looking to make that bird and butterfly garden or help those native birds so that you can provide food and shelter and places to nest, this is a great place to start. Now, if you need questions, right, you're not sure which plants to order, what plants you need to get for the type of soil you have, the sun exposure you have, I highly recommend you come to our in-person plant sales. Right now in May, we have 2 scheduled. Okay, the first one is going to happen on May 2nd and 3rd. It's hosted by Good Stewart Ecoscape, and he will have an array of plants, mostly flowers, but he will have some shrubs and trees too. Mostly there'll be plugs in gallon-sized containers. There will also be a few pint-sized containers too. And then on the 24th, which is a Saturday of May, we will be having Possibly Placed Nursery coming in person to do a native plant sale also. So you have a couple resources just happening in May to keep an eye out for if you want some help and tips and tricks. We're going to do some fun things on the 24th too. There'll be a planting demonstration and things like that too, so keep that in mind, all right? Native plants are really important to your native birds, so plant more native and you're not only going to help your birds, but your yard will be more attractive to these birds that you're trying to attract. All right, let's get to it. I want to talk real quick. I talked a little bit about 15% off of our feeders, right? So all of our feeders are 15% off through the 14th. You can do it in-store or online. The other one that is 15% off is all of our houses, right? So whether it's a Nature's Creation house or one of our recycled plastic houses, or one of the other wooden ones that we get. All of these houses are all 15% off. Again, it's a great time of year to add new to your yard to attract more birds, more wildlife, to enjoy them more, okay? I'm going to take advantage of that while it's still here. The other promotion that we have going on right now is in-store only. I'm going to show you this tier here because this is exactly where it's at. So for a limited time, in-store only, you can kind of take advantage of this really cool suet plug deal that we have going on. So these are some recycled suet log feeders, right? These have suet plugs that they go in these little holes, and then woodpeckers and chickadees and nuthatches will take advantage of the suet that's in here. So one thing that's nice about these feeders is because there's no perches off of them and it's more of a clinger only style, we find that some of the other problem birds, like your blackbirds and some of even the house sparrows, have a tricky time handling these feeders. Not to say that it's foolproof, but it definitely gives them a hard time. So if you purchase one of these guys for a limited time while supplies last, you can receive 2 hot pepper suet plug super suet containers for free. Alternatively, if you have a feeder that you're already using for suet plugs and you're enjoying that one, no need to get a new one unless you would like to. But if you purchase one of these, you can get the other one for half off for a limited time, all right? Nice thing about the hot pepper is that you don't have to worry so much about the squirrels because it's a brain receptor that mammals have. So squirrels and raccoons have that brain receptor where they can sense hot pepper, that capsaicin that's in the hot pepper food. Alternatively, birds don't have that brain receptor, so they can't tell if it's hot or not, and they really don't care. But your squirrels sure do care. So it's a great way to offer food in an area where baffles and other methods won't necessarily work, but you're still offering the same great food just in a hot pepper version to keep those squirrels at bay. All right, we talked about that. We talked about the suet. That's good. All right, last thing here, because we have a whole bunch of new things that came in between yesterday and today, so I want to go over a couple of them, and you can see some of them. I'm going to bring this one over right now because I just love this blue color. But we do have little hummingbird stakes. These are perfect. They're all glass, so even the petal version of them is in there. Perfect for hummingbird season, which is right around the corner too. So these have just come in. But other stakes that have just come in, we have a couple of really cute ones that would be perfect for little pots, or you have a window box or other planter that you want to decorate up. We have some really awesome plant picks, and check out these laser cut ones. These are so cool. I love all the colors. They have so many designs. There's, I want to say, 6 designs of these. Look at that cardinal one. It's so pretty. Oh, but look at the blue jay. Or I guess it could be a blue. I think it's a blue jay. But look at that. I love all the colors that they have. Very colorful. All made out of laser cut metal. So these are really cool. And then I grabbed a couple of these too, because these just came in. And these are also very small. These are actually glass. These are hand-blown glass. These are all bees. So how cute are they? Look at their little faces. Look at this one. Let's see if you can get the face. Oh, yep, here's his eyes. He's just so adorable. I love his little face on him. But these guys are also really cute. Great for little picks in your planters. You need a little extra pizzazz going on here. These will be perfect for those plants. All right, another things that have come in new are some of our houses. This is a new wood duck house. So one of our wood duck houses are back in stock. Yes, it comes, you can open it up and see it does include the wood chips. Wood ducks do nest in a wooden box, and the female will go up in there, make a nest with the wood chips, and add some down feathers to it. And then next thing you know, she has some eggs. If you haven't ever watched go online and Google wood ducks jumping out of the nest box. It is adorable. They are so flexible and bouncy. They jump out of this hole and go and find mom. And it's just so cute. So if you have some ducks or have seen wood ducks in your area, it might be advantageous to you to put out a wood duck box. So we have these here in store, okay? And these would qualify for the 15% off, just saying. All right. Show you what else is new. What else? Oh, new feeders. I have two new suet plug feeders. It's kind of what we're replacing with the recycled. I have this other style that I wanted to try out, and I think you guys will really like it. I'm going to bring it over here 1 second. Let me get it for you. There we go. All right. Check out these guys. All right. So this is a vertical. This is, horizontal. This is vertical. And how these work is you hang this up, and again, the suet plugs go in these holes here, and then this hangs. So again, it's more appealing to your clingers, the ones that are designed to cling and eat from trees and vertical landing spaces. This is right up their alley. Love the price point, and yes, it's made out of natural cedar. So that's really fun. But check this one out too. I like this one because, again, all the holes are on the bottom, meaning that you have to be able to hang upside down. So I think this one will be really great to beat the starlings and house heroes that would happily eat all of your suet, but then we can save it for the guys that really want it and really could use that. So I think this will be a really great addition to our lineup. So come on by. We have a couple in stock to try them out, but I'm sure that they're going to be very popular, so we'll have to reorder them. All right, show you that. What else? What else? Okay, we have some Easter things. And the first thing I want to show you are these cute, adorable little peeps. Where's Melanie? You didn't know there was more types of peeps, and yes, they all make noise. So they're really cute, and they're going quick. So if you're eye on one of these little chicks, they're going quick. So make sure you stop in sooner than later so you can grab the colors and the ones that you really have your eye on. So they're real, real cute. I love them. They're so adorable. Look at their little faces. Yeah, they're really cute. So we'll like those. But check out these other things that we've gotten in just for Easter. For our Christian Easter fans, we have some seed crosses. They come in a 3-pack, but we also have them individually. Okay, so if you want to add these to an Easter basket, or have a gift for mom, or have just want to have some extra decor in your own yard, you can grab either the 3-pack or them individually. This one does have fruit in it, and it's mostly sunflower seeds and peanuts. This one is almonds and peanuts. And this one is all sunflower chips. And yes, they all have a hanger, right? So you can hang it off of your pole system, you can hang it off of a tree, you can hang it off of pretty much anywhere, put it on a suction cup and put it to your window. Great idea to bring a little Easter season into your own house. So that's real cute. I love these. These just came in today, so that's exciting. This stuff has come in before. We've had these before, but they're very popular. And since Mother's Day was right around the corner, I figured we got to bring in the seed wreaths again. So if you have one of these wreath hangers from Christmas, during the holiday season, we had a lot of the seed wreaths. We've gotten in the wildfire wreaths. These are perfect for Mother's Day. And yes, you can put them in the seed wreath holder, or alternatively, you can just put it out as it is. Now, you can see kind of back up here, that white thing in there is actually a net. So if you did not want to purchase the wreath holder, you could just hang it in the net and hang it out in your yard. and the birds can still enjoy it, and you don't have to worry about it falling apart or a squirrel kind of taking off with the donut, right? You can just put it out there, hang it in the net, and be done with that. But I do like the wreath holder, kind of keeps it all in one spot. And then, of course, I can reuse this for many, many things, whether it's suet balls, nesting material. There's a lot of other things that we can use these feeders for. But then the wreaths are back in, our spring wreaths, perfect for Mother's Day or just to bring some spring decor to your own feeder system, right? These are great. Love, love, love that they're back. And finally, also very popular, are our nesting, our bird houses that are made out of seed. They do have a wooden house underneath it, right? I wouldn't maybe not recommend them for actual nesting purposes because they're not quite to spec, right? They're not quite appropriate maybe for actual nesting in, but they sure are cute. And yes, they come with hangers, so they're really cute. And yes, the birds can eat all of the stuff on it. The flowers are all made out of fruit, so dried fruit and berries and things like that. They're really, really cute. Tons of seed, sunflower seeds, safflower, and millet. Favorites for all the birds. So they are here. Stop by and grab those. Those would make excellent additions to Easter baskets too. All right, guys. I think that was it. I'm probably missing something, but you know, there's so much new good stuff here today and this week. So much new stuff has come in. It's a really fun time to enjoy your backyards, enjoy your birds. And that's what it's kind of all about, is finding the joy in your own backyard. So this month, I challenge you to try something new. Get a new feeder. Put out a new birdhouse. Add some magic to your yard. Speaking of magic, I just remembered what else we did. I didn't share. I'm going to take you on a walk because I know exactly where some are. Remember the fiber optic dandelions? They come in singles now. So if you have a double and you're looking for an addition, we got some singles in, and they do look a little bit different. They're kind of cool. But they're the same fiber optics. Speaking of magic, right? That for sure is a magical decor to add to your backyard. But that's what I challenge you. Challenge you to find something new to add more joy and to experience the nature that's right in your own backyard that you can enjoy. All right, everyone, you have a wonderful Friday. Hopefully we see you tomorrow for the Attracting Oriole presentation. Lauren's going to do excellent, and I cannot wait to hear how it all goes down. Don't forget, we have a couple great events. Most of them are all on Facebook, but they are, in fact, all on our website, including some of our May events. So stay tuned for more information, and we'll see you soon. Bye now.